we've talked about wide receiver. Browns need wide receivers. These are 5 Senior Bowl wide receivers that should be on the Browns' radar. You wrote an article about this. We'll go through them one by one. We have some video of them, too. So the first one is Johnny Wilson from Florida State. Take us through what you like about Wilson, why you think the Browns should be interested.
Let's start with 6'6" 3/4. I mean, he's a lot of dude out there, and he has no problem creating separation. He's lanky, but like he doesn't have any hesitation to go over the middle and take tough hits. He creates separation. He's good with his hands, has an incredible catch radius, and he's someone who's going to be available. You know, that's going to be a draftable guy that you could possibly get in round 3. You know, you just look at his skill set, and it's something the Browns don't currently have. And you just see the evolution of this league where you're seeing teams put big guys in the slot. You know, it's not always small, shifty guys. He's a perfect candidate for that. He can, you know what I mean? He can cut you either way, and he should be a tremendous threat in the red zone.
Yeah, the other thing, when you think about him, Watson has success with big wide receivers. You think of Hopkins, you think back in Clemson's, it was Mike Williams. All right, another guy has shown up. It took the 3rd day of practice today off, is the wide receiver, Roman Wilson. He did so much in the first couple of days, didn't need to show anything more before the game.
Yeah, a couple guys took the day off today. I think they made their point, or maybe they got nicked up a little bit. But Roman Wilson is a natural separator, you know. And if you watch him run his routes, it doesn't look like he has violent cuts or anything, because like his routes are just masked in smoothness, you know. And he's not a big guy. He was listed at 6 foot, and I made a bet with Jacob Roach. There was no way that guy was going to be 6 foot. Just no way. He came in at 5'10". He's an undersized guy, but he's a separation creator, and that's something else the Browns need. They greatly need someone who can just naturally create separation. It doesn't have to be scheme-oriented, and he's someone who can work very well in the slot. He has the skills to play on the outside. I just don't know if he has the size to live out there long-term.
Yeah, and again, you see the speed and the quickness, and he can change directions pretty quickly. All right, the third guy that we're going to talk about, another bigger-bodied guy who's pretty physical that we've seen, Brendan Rice from USC. And yes, it is the son of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been getting all the pub for being the son of a Hall of Fame wide receiver. But there was another one, Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, at the Senior Bowl, has been very physical over these 3 days. And he has good top-end speed. You know, he's a finisher. That's another thing. Causes a lot of PIs. A lot of guys try to get their hands on him when he's in the stem, and he fights through it to get to the ball. There is a knock on him that he's not creating separation early enough in his routes. I do believe he's a prototypical X and someone who will live on the outside, and I definitely think he would be a flyer and someone who I definitely think could be a 2 in the league.
All right, so the next guy that we're going to talk about is Tez Walker, Devonta Walker. They call him Tez Walker. North Carolina this year, was at Kent State. What do you see here?
Just smooth. He's just a smooth route runner, and he finds separation wherever he wants it. If he wants it early, he gets it early. If he wants it late, he gets it late. He body catches a little too much and doesn't hand catch the ball, so that does give you some worry. But he creates such separation that he catches these balls running away, and he's a finisher. You know, he was someone who the NCAA told me he couldn't play this year, and he had to fight the appeal system and really paratrooped into the season, you know, after 5 games and hit the ground running with Drake May and was the #1 target automatically. He's someone that just popped in the situation and was ready for it. And, you know, coming from Kent State, acclimating North Carolina, showing that he had the goods to get, you know, to go against the better competition. And you've seen it at the Senior Bowl, just constantly creating separation, and he's a playmaker.
All right, and the last guy, #1 on the list, Xavier Legette from South Carolina. And again, another thing that I like, a bigger body guy.
Bigger body and just explosion. You know, he explodes right off the ball. He is a highlight waiting to happen. He's also a violent route runner. He's someone whose breaks do look violent. And he's still kind of new to the position. He was a quarterback in high school, acclimating. And I see why the scouts are giving pause, because he only had 1 year of production. Going into his senior year, his career high in catches was 18. You know, and he gets 71 for 1255 this year. I mean, just exploded onto the scene. But he's someone whose physical traits are just undeniable. You know, he was listed at 6'3" and then measured at 6'1". So you might see him slide down boards, because if it wasn't for that, the Browns would have no shot at this young man.
Yeah, and all these guys are guys that could be available rounds 2, 3, and beyond. So the Browns could, in fact, have a shot at him.